Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to the Brass Ring Media Podcast for Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Welcome on in. I'm Zach Haydorn. That is Tyler Sage. I don't have your name on there. Wow, what am I doing? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. There we go. Minor league production over here. What's going on, Tyler?
Hey, just it's humid. I'll tell you that. You can tell by my hair. So
yeah, has it gotten it was like you get weather like a day after us, and like a day ago it was like 100 degrees here. So it was wild.
Yeah, maybe that's tomorrow. It's been actually pretty nice, just humid. So we'll see.
Lucky you. The 100-degree weather is on the horizon. Good to be here, folks. I know we were MIA last week. I got the COVID from what I think, and I talked a little bit about this on a member show that I just recorded, but I think I got it from the old Aragon Ballroom and AW Dynamite.
Not the best show to get the COVID from, too.
No, it was not the best show to get the COVID from. Luckily, it's a tame version of COVID. You know, it hasn't rocked me like it has before. So that part's good. We know since we didn't get to talk about it too much or at all last week, I'm kind of relieved to hear you say that about the Dynamite show, because I felt the same thing sitting there whilst getting COVID. Like some of it was like necessary stuff. Like obviously the Hangman promo, right? That they started the show with. I thought that was money. I thought that was a good promo. Had to do it. You know, you had to do the Tony Storm thing too. I think like they had to check some boxes for like a post pay-per-view show. But like I didn't feel like it had any element of, okay, this is what's coming next on the show. Like it seems like we're like right back to doing more Mox and Hangman stuff, and that's where I kind of get like, this show didn't need that. It didn't need that, and the live crowd didn't react to that too much either.
Yeah, well, for this is a lot going on here. What I'm about to say, it has to do with Raw too. But like, I think I'm wrong about the Seth being a work thing, or else they worked me out of my work theory. Because man, that's like the main event of Raw, if that's like your biggest non-title match going to SummerSlam, again, people paid $40,000 for ringside seats. That is like a Raw main event happening there. Anyway, who's more devastating to the booking of said company? Is it Seth Rollins or Will Ospreay being out for the next, like 8 weeks, let's say?
Boy. I think it's I honestly my answer to that would be Seth, but not because I think Seth's more valuable. It's just I think that AEW, like when you look at like their bench, I think it's a little more robust at the tippy top, whereas with Seth, it's a pretty big drop off after him, and I think you're seeing that on Raw on a weekly basis.
Yeah. I would agree. The reason it's, I think, even in the question is because you presume that Ospreay is going to have like one of the bigger matches for Forbidden Door.
I think so too. Yeah.
So that like hurts what that show is probably going to be by a big match. So that's the only reason I bring that up. But yeah, I mean, I can't remember what was on the show besides Hangman, Tony doing her thing from the balcony, Don Callis being everywhere. Being way too much on the show.
The best match of the night was Kyle Fletcher against that Dorada luchador, and it's like that's a rampage match right there. Like, and it was a fine match. Like it was fine, but just that's not a lot of oomph, behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you been to the Aragon Ballroom before, like for a concert in Chicago?
No, it looked cool. I definitely would like to. It just reminds me before they painted the Hammerstein Ballroom. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yes. It's like really similar to the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah. For like sure. Ukrainian heritage place that like in LA that a lot of places run. It remind me of that.
It's similar to that. And like if you go in there, it even is more like that because like the ceiling is all like done up and all crazy. That was cool. Like I like, that was kind of cool to be. I'd never been to a wrestling show there before. I don't know if there ever has been I'm assuming in its 100-year history there have been wrestling shows there that I just haven't been to, but it was pretty cool seeing that on TV. But I wish they would have came out a little more guns blazing with like, all right, Hangman, like you're the champion now. You're the mother effing champion, like you said, which I thought was a hell of a line. But it's like, but now what? Like you kind of crossed paths with MJF, but not really. Mox is kind of in the mix still, but not really because Darby's there, kind of hanging in the shadows. It's like everything like kind of happened as a next chapter, but nothing actually ever did.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It felt very much like a classic. Like not everyone got the night off after doing a good job at the pay-per-view, but certainly enough of them did. I mean, Okada kind of getting the most push forward as a character, song and everything. That was like the most noteworthy thing, honestly, of a character. Like, okay, I really do think like Tony probably wants people like us to say this first, but it does feel like they're going for like straight up, that's a world title sort of vibes.
Yeah.
With Swerve and him being a big deal.
Yeah, and that was a fun little interaction too, I guess. But like the FTR and Cope thing, like goodness gracious. I thought that was horrible, but like you've rubbed off on me on your Cope hate has rubbed off on me throughout the last few months.
Rough, man.
Dude, it was rough.
Yeah,
anyway, we'll talk about
what he was going to do to Christian. Like, if he's going to make Christian Cage a boring character, that's a problem.
Well, I think he might, because I think Christian, like, does anybody really want to see a redemption story with Christian? Like, I don't think so.
Like, he should find himself, and it should be, I'm a total POS, and you
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We got our one of our gold members in the chat right now saying Edge is channel change inducing. Yeah, I mean,
it's like not go away heat for me because I always think it's like funny because it's so bad. But it's pretty close.
It's close. It really.
It's definitely my most disliked character in pro wrestling at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Sammy Guevara for me, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's like not used in the same clip.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
I'm a guy who's used a lot, right? Like if you were like, let's say you hated Karrion Kross, I think he'd be a good candidate too.
Yeah.
Like, why does this guy keep getting screen time? It's like one of those sort of things.
He'd be up there for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, look, more on AEW later this week. Obviously, they've got a show at the Aragon Ballroom again as part of the residency. We'll talk about that this week on the Thursday show. We're going to keep it to WWE and Raw and SummerSlam today. And I'll just take care of some business at the top here. Guys, this is the Brass Ring Media Podcast. We've got 2 of these shows every single week right here on the Brass Ring Media YouTube channel. You can catch us live on Tuesday nights and Thursday afternoons typically. Usually the Tuesday show coming out of Monday Night Raw is WWE focused, and the Thursday show coming out of AEW Dynamite is AEW focused. But we mix and match too when applicable and when necessary. But the moral of the story is check us out twice a week right here. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. If you're watching right now and you could do us a favor, hit like on this. It helps us a lot in terms of the YouTube algorithm and just getting some more eyes on Brass Ring and what we do here on a regular basis. You can also download all of our live shows as an audio podcast on your favorite podcast app, whatever that is, Spotify, Apple, some other rare one that I don't know. We're everywhere. And all you got to do is search Brass Ring Media and you'll get all of our live shows that air here on YouTube right to your mobile devices or tablets or anything. Just hit download and you can get us on the go. If you do listen to us as a podcast and you wouldn't mind leaving us a positive rating and 5-star rating, that also helps us out big time in the podcast all goes. And we'd certainly appreciate it. We've got the Brass Ring Media Podcast here on the channel. We also have the Daily Wrestling Hotline with Dominic D'Angelo on a daily basis. We've got the Kick-Ash Podcast on Saturday mornings with Ashley. And we've got Nocturnal Knockout on Wednesday evenings prior to Dynamite by Robert Vihos. All of those live shows you can get right at your fingertips as a podcast or right here on YouTube. Lots and lots of content on a day-to-day basis right here at Brass Ring Media. If you want more, and you should, you can become a Brass Ring Media member on Patreon. We do offer membership. It's $4 a month to get all that we do on a weekly basis over at Brass Ring Media on Patreon for members. Our members get a member-only show once a week, sometimes twice a week, or sometimes 3 times a week, depending on how the week goes. I just dropped a show a couple minutes ago before we went live here about TNA Slammiversary, about the G1 so far, and then also just about more detail on the Aragon Ballroom and kind of the night that I had there. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out. We'll do another member show later. Also, we will have all of our pay-per-view and PLE review shows are available for members too. So that includes All In, that includes SummerSlam coming up in a couple weeks, and any other big show. We review those for our members only on Patreon. So don't miss that. You guys are.
I don't know what we're doing.
No, I'm seeing the chat on the right side, and I'm like, don't laugh. And then you start cracking up. And
sorry, I just was like zoning out, and then I read that, and I was like, what? And then Adam's comment made me laugh. What are we doing to get bots of CBS personalities and when their birthday is? It's the strangest thing of all time.
Well, I'm gonna ban. Okay,
what?
We banned him. We banned Alex Trebek.
No, not Alex.
Jesus. No, who would have thought?
Go to hell, Trebek.
This is a good one. Needs to be in the form of a question. I love that. Well played. Well played, Mike. Oh gosh. All right, whatever. The members get a lot of stuff, and you guys should try us out. It's only $4, and we appreciate it. End of the plug, because Alex Trebek messed me up, and I blame him. Yeah. Thank you to
so good. He came from beyond the grave to listen.
He came from beyond the grave. Exactly. Thank you to our gold members. We've got 2 gold members, Adam Kidd and Sean Palikta. Appreciate it, Adam Kidd, with this fine comment. I thought you were Ted, Alex. That's the one that got this whole plug session off the rails. But thank you guys so much. The live chat's open. If you want to get in on conversation tonight, we'll try to get to as many comments as we can. If you want to suggest another topic or ask us a question or just rant and rave, super chats are enabled. Please drop a super chat if you can toss us one our way. Obviously, it helps us out big time. And we appreciate it. Any contribution amount helps with that. And thank you. Hello to everybody who's in the live chat right now. Mike and, of course, Adam and Tracy. And Sean was there for a little bit. Our other gold member, Sean, says, what's up? I'm at a Guardians game right now, but I miss you guys. Off to Detroit tomorrow. Appreciate you, Zach and Tyler. Go BRM. Thank you, Sean. It's our gold member there. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Enough of this messy plug segment. Goodness gracious.
I was going to say Sean's at the home of the Metro. Where's Superman City? Metropolis? The Metropolis Meteors is where Sean is right now.
Oh, he's not. Wait.
So they filmed that. Did you see the new movie?
No, I have not.
There's a scene where they're in a ballpark.
Oh, and it's
Progressive Field. So I was like, I've been there.
Oh, that's cool. You know, I've been to Progressive Field also. I love that stadium. It's a great stadium.
It's a good remodel. Are there bad baseball stadiums though? I'm trying to think of a bad one I've been to besides the Oakland Coliseum, probably.
I mean, the rate is pretty bad.
The what?
Where the White Sox play is pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's like pretty fun
it's fine
to say you've been there.
It's a great minor league
for white folks in a certain neighborhood. They're like, you were in the South Side of Chicago. Oh my God.
Yes, it is proud of its South Side roots for sure. Too bad the team's a minor league team. Anyway, thank God this isn't a White Sox podcast. It is great. It is a great ballpark. Hope you have a good time, Sean. All right, let's talk Monday Night Raw. I thought that last night, look, going into last night's Raw, I was hyped because I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, we're going to get like 2 pretty significant talking segments to set up big time matches at SummerSlam. One of those talking segments being Roman Reigns and Paul freaking Heyman, right? Like one of the best talkers ever. That's one segment. And then you've got this Gunther and CM Punk, kind of segment of some kind that you knew you had coming because Punk just became number one contender. And you're going to, you're promoting that he's going to kick off the show. So you're expecting some type of, confrontation between him and Gunther. We'll start with Punk and Gunther because, man, did I think this was boring. I thought this was so boring. Like I think if you were to write this promo out on paper, you'd say to yourself, okay, well, like we got there, we checked this box and Punk did a mission statement. All right, cool. And he looped the audience into his journey and okay, they're behind him. Okay, cool. And then Gunther kind of ran down Punk and said he was going to beat him and choke him out. Okay, he's got some heat. Okay, cool. And so you check some boxes with this, but dude, the money of a Gunther CM Punk feud at this point is not the in-ring. It is not even close to the in-ring. It is about the promos. It's about the talking. It's about the drama. It's about the rivalry. And here you are 2 weeks out from this match. And this couldn't have fallen flatter to me. And I on both ends. I think Gunther was pretty boring. And I think Punk was like, dude, what do we do? What are we even doing out there? Do you even know who Gunther is at this point? Do you even know who he is? You brought up his Intercontinental title reign. That's it. It's like someone handed you some bullet points about Gunther, and that was the only one you remembered. It felt like he was called on. He's like a high schooler called on in class and didn't know the answer, so he just kind of made up stuff. And that's what his promo felt like. And I thought it was missing all of the CM Punk edge. None of that was there. He all of a sudden was this white, meaty, rah baby face. And then Gunther just kind of did his same old thing and then just kind of dropped the mic and walked away. And it's dude, maybe that's okay if you've got 5 weeks to build this thing, but next week's the go home show. You don't have time. You got to heat it up a lot faster than they did. I thought it was a terrible miss and really disappointing for, a match on Raw that I think most fans could pencil in as something, hey, we'd really like to see this. This would be cool. But after last night, it's big whoop. What's the big deal? I thought this was really bad. What did you make of all that went down? Or take any of that and run with it.
Zach, I'm gonna be mad at myself here. Past Tyler is gonna not believe what future Tyler's about to say.
Okay.
I miss the friendship bracelet.
Oh no! See this? Oh my god!
At least that was
keep going.
Yeah, at least that was something, right?
Yeah.
I hated that storyline for what it's worth. I'm being kind of facetious here, but at least Punk had something to stand on. Of this is what represents me and my morals as a character, not just yes, TKO. I am Randy Orton on Raw. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Please sing my song. Yeah. I don't like this segment, so I'm going to put this mic up so you cheer my name because that's going to be the best part of this promo. That's what we got last night. Of what CM Punk is. This is so easy. You call him Walter when he comes out to get the ooh. You tell him that while you were working Bavarian food halls, I was winning world titles. You were watching me. You had my poster on your walls. Yep. You can do that with Gunther and be you say you're the best, whatever. You do the whole he had no rebuttal to the Gunther. He shook his head in agreement. When Gunther's oh yeah, the best in the world has this title. He's yeah. And and then Punk also did the quintessential I'm not winning, so don't get too excited. When he's I don't know if I can do it, guys, but I'm gonna give you the best I got. What? I was like, what in the hell is going on here with this? And it's it was boo-boo face in the promo is what this seemed like. Because that's what I was thinking the whole time, the Randy Orton comment. I was oh, CM Punk is Randy Orton. And I think he realizes that and is well, the checks are cashing, whatever. I don't really care. And that's what this felt like. He's I get to open Raw. I'm probably in the main event of SummerSlam. Unless Jelly Roll takes my spot. He's I am Randy Orton, but I'm not Randy Orton because I don't have to tag team with Jelly Roll. So he's
it
probably
can get worse. It
yeah,
can get worse.
he can. Yeah. So I mean, everything you're saying is correct. Gunther was okay. I'm gonna agree with multiple people in the comments. Like he also seemed very annoyed. I'd love some like backstage and like palace intrigue on this because it seems like these two probably did not work well together setting this up because it was pretty cold in real life. It seemed like
There was no chemistry at all.
And then Gunther like cut his promo and like walked out like as he was finishing. And then Punk just stood there in the ring. He's like, I'll give you the heel thing. I guess you can stand strong in the ring or whatever, but it's going to be nothing. So yeah, and then Gunther, every point he's made was right, which is his character, right? Where he's a heel that everything he says is correct. And in another world, he's a babyface.
Yeah.
You tapped out. I mean, I don't know. We're talking about, that's the weirdest chant right now in wrestling for me of like, you tapped out. And it's like, I think only going to fuel people who, like an Adam Copeland, who's like, I can't tap out. Look what they're doing to Gunther. Like, you can't ever tap out because that's worse than, and I still, I know we've talked about this multiple times. I'm all over the place here, but to me, like someone getting me in a real fight, I'd be more embarrassed if somebody knocked me out so bad that they could pin me to the ground for 3 seconds, as opposed to someone who like got a choke on me where I can't breathe, so I'm going to die and I tap out real quick. Does not die. Always been a weird logical thing for me in pro wrestling.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like that is like still a thing. Like he beat the guy who did that to him. It's just such a like illogical chant to get going.
Right. He already like overcame that.
Yeah. So it's just like the babyface thing. Like if you want him to retire Goldberg and John Cena within 6 months, like they have to do something about that as well. And like the fact that this isn't going to be like save CM Punk by having Seth Rollins roll in here is like also just not good for him and his character. So I don't know what Punk does after this too, which is I think a big problem of why you would do this match. I'd rather like him be in some weird tag match with Jay and Roman than be in this spot and have like Braun Breaker in this spot.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like, I mean, look, if you're CM Punk and we're going to get to Seth in a minute here, but like, if you know that whatever business you had with Seth is not on the table now for a while, you should have the wherewithal to be like, well, okay, I really got to make this work with Gunther now because he's the top guy. Like he's the top guy to work with. And so, man, if I don't make that compelling, there is no rematches. There is no grudge feud. There is no blow off match with a stipulation. I mean, all of that could potentially be on the table here for Gunther and Punk if it works and if it's good. And it just so wasn't any of that it makes the thought of even like rematches or trilogy matches like down the road for Punk, like just forget it. Like we're not even gonna entertain that notion because this was so flat that it's not worth anybody's time. You might as well put Braun Breaker in there if this is what you're going to get from CM Punk. Adam Kidd, our gold member here, says Punk is mailing it in. Gunther is good. Joshua jumping in saying Gunther was 5 times better than Punk was, so decent. Did you think this about Punk mailing it in? Like, do you think it's just like, because I'm watching CM Punk out there, he still gets the biggest babyface reaction on the show by a wide margin. So you can't argue with that reality. I think
I would say Roman was getting
Roman. Yeah, okay. Roman, yes, and Jay is kind of up there too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's definitely top 3. If you take out Roman, it's Punk, it's Jay, it's Rhea. I think those are your top 3 kind of babyface reactions. So it's strong, but the character though, like he's got to find someone else or something else to be in 2025 because he's not like the anti-corporate guy anymore. He's not the anti-authority guy. He's not like this punk rocker. Like he's just not the same. He's not the same guy. And so I don't think you can take that CM Punk character and drop him in as this just like Cody, John Cena, Roman Reigns style babyface. Like you just can't. Like, I think what ends up happening is you get last night, and it feels like Punk is mailing it in, even if he might not be, because the expectation is that you get more from Punk. You get more edge. You get more attitude. You get more OMG moments on the microphone. You don't just get, it's good to be alive in Houston, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to win the championship and do my best. Like, there's a Punk expectation that he has to deal with. And I think this character that he's rolling out there on a weekly basis, like, totally misses the boat on that. And I get not wanting to be the same character in 2025 that you were in 2014, but you got to have some essence there. And I think, like, the essence of him is just totally warped at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's like kind of hard to define, like, what is like the character of CM Punk? Like, what is his motivation?
Like, in theory, or like,
yeah, no, in theory, not the human, not Phil, but like CM Punk. Because for Phil, it's the money.
Right. I was just going to say, you know what it is for Phil.
In that order, I would classify it. But for the CM Punk character, like, before this, it would be like to right injustices against him, which are in turn injustices against the WWE fan base, right? Was that like his defining the last 2 years, his character?
Yeah, but that doesn't track anymore. But yeah, I think that's what it was.
Like, before this, now he's going for a title, so it's like a selfish endeavor, right? He won a gauntlet. Not that we're going for titles are selfish. Obviously, it's very basic to do it for a reason, but yeah, like, there's just nothing defining him and what that character is besides it's a name, and it's a guy that's familiar, and he's like literally a husk of a character from presentation and substance.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Adam says here, crazy idea. Punk needs to sell his soul and be the corporate heel. Like, I mean, yeah, it's hard to say. Like, if I were Paul Levesque, I'd find it hard to, like, rubber stamp that heel turn, just because he is a top babyface. But
it's not Paul's decision. So.
That's true. But even if, like, you're Punk, you're like, all right, do I really want to do that? But, like, I think from, like, a character perspective, that might be the best thing, is to just, like, totally lean into the hypocrisy of, like, what really happened with Punk and use it to get heat. Because I don't know, like, where do you even go next with this Gunther thing? Like, I guess you can get a little physical next week on Raw, and Punk can hit the GTS and leave him in the ring because he's going to get beat at SummerSlam. It's just like you took something that had the potential of something really exciting, and you just throw cold water on it, just like that. Like, it I don't know. It's just really yawn inducing.
Yeah, it's not good. I was trying to think, like, is it the worst or best idea ever if, like, you saw Goldberg on Ariel Hawani's show. Yeah. Just being a malcontent. What a shock. But what if, like, Punk used Goldberg in his match and used Goldberg, and those, like, they used all the old guys. Like, it was basically the main event Mafia 2.0. And that's, like, what the Punk character would be. Like, I think that would be horrible, but, like, I'm kind of would embrace the chaos to see what happens. Because it's like, beyond that, like, yeah, there's nothing to do here after this. Like, what does Gunther do after this?
Yeah.
Like, because you put him in Roman, like, you could do that if you have Roman for a period of time, and then that frees up Gunther, and then you can kind of redo everything you've done at the top again, which is probably what they were going to do. But yeah, I don't know. Roman.
Well, let's just pivot over to Roman, since you made that connection. I think Roman. It would seem to me that Roman was supposed to work with Seth at SummerSlam, and now he's not able to. Quickly though, before we talk from the Roman end, we talked a lot about Seth Rollins last week, and was it a work? Was it a shoot? His injury, and we kind of landed on he's probably injured, but maybe not to the extent that they're saying. I think I may have to, like, change my tune on that, but it sounds like you very much want to change your tune.
Yeah, I don't think the show would be purposely bad, and the SummerSlam would be worse on purpose if it was a work. I think they would have, like, had, like, something pretty fun to go, not, like, literally hey, take the underlings out of their suits so they seem more formidable, and that'll be like our SummerSlam co-main event. Crazy.
Yeah, that I think you're spot on. That is the biggest tell of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that Roman is in this tag team match with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and like
to get like 5 Roman matches a year 6, and Bronson Reed is like participating in one of them makes no sense. And it's a 4-person match, not a 10-person match. Makes no sense.
Yeah, agree. And so yeah, you got to think that like they're dealing with the reality of like that last minute change, and hey, you got to roll with the punches and you got to do your thing. It doesn't mean it is a void from criticism, because I think it's a really just an look, maybe it was too early for Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns, but if the plan was Roman in a singles match against Seth, the only semi-comparable match would have been Roman in a singles match against Braun Breaker. And I get you don't want to do that. I get you don't want to book that. I get you don't want to have to navigate the minefield of booking a match like that. But dude, it's SummerSlam. It's the second biggest show of the year, 2-night event. And Roman is in this throwaway tag match that you said correctly could be a main event of Raw. And it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And I didn't think Roman and Heyman, like, they were okay. Like if Heyman is not going to have a bad promo segment, right? He's just not going to have a terrible promo segment. But when I see, hey, Roman and Paul Heyman are going to be in the ring together and they're going to be hashing things out, like, I'm expecting top-notch level promo work, top-notch level mic work, especially from Paul Heyman. And man, we didn't even get that last night. So they didn't even last night like give you anything to get you super excited about this tag team match. It's just kind of like, oh, Paul Heyman's there, and then like Roman just ran him over with a truck on the microphone, calling him a dumbass and not a wise man, and just like he just buried him. And I just was left going, that was fine, but unsatisfying.
Agreed. Also, just the substance to like have the whole reason for this promo is that we're going back to, and we're not retconning, that Roman Reigns was pissed that Heyman was in the corner of CM Punk.
Yeah.
Like, to say that obviously we saw the match. That was like a red herring. And you should be mad at Heyman for using Rollins, but you can't bring up Rollins because he's injured. Right. So it's like, to be like, hey, let's pivot and let's talk about how you were like not in my corner for a WrestleMania match. That doesn't matter at all. I mean, it did, but like, you should say like, hey, you punched me in the balls, not that you were not in my corner. Right. Like, as like a stressor, to have the stressor be like, you disrespected me by not being on my side in that moment, like in my corner. I don't know. It was just like, made me like, man, it made me remember how dumb that whole story was. And like the result was exciting for that weekend and like way better, obviously, than the main event the next night. But to like have that be like the crux of this made no sense. And I don't know.
Also, I think he retconned the bloodline storyline.
Yeah, like we made it, God made it, not you. Like,
dude, you were like a tyrant over this for 4 years, dude. Yeah. Like you lost your cousins. You lost everything. You lost Jay, you lost Jimmy, you lost the title. Like you lost everything. Like you lost Sammy, and like none of that. Like I just thought that's where you wanted Paul. That's why having Paul Heyman there to be like the voice of all of that, like that would have been intriguing.
Yeah. Well, I get like you don't want to babyface Paul in that situation by telling the truth, but like, yeah, and to be like hand wavy. I mean, that's the whole issue I've had with the Roman character since he's been back. Yeah. Is that like absence is the babyface term, not anything he's done with his character. Right. And like Seth is still correct as a character. Like Seth and Gunther are the only two characters that speak the truth all the time. And I guess Cena too. So it's very weird. Like, I think it's a huge issue with the company is that like all your top 3 heels are the ones telling the stone cold truth 24/7 about all these characters. And then your baby faces are like, I speak on. It's like politicians who get elected are the baby faces, and then like the politicians who, maybe are too much change and scared to stir the pot too much are like your heels. It makes no sense what the psychology of all these characters is, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really interesting, especially when you kind of add up like, all right, who are like the most, I think Becky, there's some of that in Becky too, like with what she says, like she's this heel and she's kind of running down her own division. Yes. And she's kind of a jerk. Yes. But she's not necessarily wrong in everything that she says. So you add her to the list of heels that are right. Yeah, it's a good point. Let me go to the chat here, and say Roman teaming up with Jay is like The Rock teaming with Foley against Evolution. Bad. Adam also says the one positive was Roman acknowledging that he had help along the way. Yeah, I mean, again, what did you think of Roman specifically during this? Like, I always thought that Roman's a guy, and we talked about this when he came back last week. Like, is he going to be able to let the guard down a little bit, to let fans in more as a babyface? And he hasn't been able to do that to this point. Even when he was like, even pre-bloodline, right? Like he was this babyface, but he just kind of like, he never had the crowd sympathy. He never had it the way like Jay has it now. And a lot of that is just being able to be vulnerable in front of an audience as a babyface. And Roman just is incapable of doing that. It doesn't seem like it's in his DNA. And still, he walks up to that line, but he doesn't cross it. And I think like the ultimate vulnerability would have been Heyman calling Roman out and Roman saying, you know what, Paul, like, dude, you're right. I did lose everything, but I got perspective now. I've got Jay on my side now. We're like we are, brothers again. And it's because of what, whatever. It's because of what you did. And like, you could totally like, I think, own like your hypocrisy, like Jay has throughout, his kind of run here as a singles act. But he never does. He never goes there. He never lets he never takes you right past that safe zone. And I think it resonates in like somebody that comes across like he's got defenses up all the time, but also someone that's just not comfortable with people seeing maybe a little bit more of the real Roman Reigns, like an emotional Roman Reigns. And, that's missing with him as a babyface still to this day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, I guess, not a huge issue. I can't be too hyperbolic there. This is the biggest star in the industry. But I do think that's like a lot of also like 10 years of Vince McMahon forcing that, just like Cena too.
Yeah.
Right. Like based on the merits, neither of them are deserving of that position. But it's like, hey, we've been kind of indoctrinated into being like, this guy's a big star, so that's why we do it. So yeah, I mean, that's just an issue with him being like a truly pure over babyface. But that being said too, like if it was him and Cody in a feud right now, Cody's the heel. So yeah. I guess that's like a pretty hard thing to rebut if you're like, but I do agree with you on like showing some of that would be good. Like if he was more Sami Zayn and less The Rock, I think that'd be better for him in this character.
Yeah. And
for the current Rock, obviously.
It doesn't have to be all the time either. It's just like at some key points, I think you can take a step back. And yeah, you're right to call out that like this isn't like something that's going to derail Roman Reigns as a star. Like he's the biggest star that they have. He gets the biggest pops. Like that's all facts. But in terms of like his segments working, in terms of like his storylines being the best they can be, that ability for him to kind of be a little vulnerable, I think would help him. Because sometimes like even when he's cutting babyface promos and he keeps calling Paul Heyman a dumbass over and over, it's like enough people like Paul Heyman where it's like you're just kind of a jerk, like calling him that, you know, like, I don't know. I felt that last night a little bit too. I'm like, all right, man, we get it. Like, but I don't know. It just, you're being kind of mean. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like right now, I think like I understand the Cody thing, and maybe this is the plan after this, but like, imagine this Roman Reigns against this John Cena, and like them talking like rough, very minimal meta of like, we were both the same guy, and look at you now, and look at me now. Like, who came out of that? Like, that is like juicy stuff. And like a true baby face to like dethrone Cena in that moment. Just like all that is like, I know you can't do it because you got the Cody thing going on, but I mean, Cody could have totally just taken on Gunther. I think we'd probably be better if that was like the flip for these men. Like if Seth gets injured, I guess it's too late to do it, but that would have been if Seth gets injured 2 weeks prior, that's probably what I'm doing. And I think it's better for everybody. Literally every story's better. For all 4 characters, they're in a better spot.
If Seth's there.
No, if you flip that, right? If you put Cody versus Gunther and Roman versus Cena.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I think that's like, that probably would have happened if because Seth derailed stuff. And then you need to pivot and do the classic, plans change and we make it better than the original plan. Sort of thing. So
yeah. With Roman, the match, like Roman, before we hopped on here, Roman posted a social media video of, he's like on a treadmill or something, and he like is essentially challenging. He's making the match official. He's challenging Bronson Reed and Breakker if Jay, will be his partner. And so, like, it was fine. Like, it's whatever. It's like a social media video. What, like, for that match to happen on SummerSlam, and for Roman to be a part of it, like, how big of a moment should this be for Braun Breaker? Like, is this like a moment here where you're like, all right, we have a tag team match, we can put Braun Breaker over and make him look really strong and make the faction look strong? Or is this just like, dude, our plans were messed up, and so we're just going to have the babyfaces win, and they're going to yeet, and that's that. Like,
yeah, that alone has swayed me on what I was like 50-50 on what I would tell you here. Like, if Roman is yeeting at the end, I think it's the wrong decision. So, for that reason, we should have Braun pinning Jay. As the result here.
Braun pinning Jay. So not Roman, though.
No. You can save that.
Okay. Adam says here, heels got to win, and Roman is part of it for Breakker and Bronson. You finally got what you wanted last night. Babyface Roman got Breakker booed. So, Andrew H., thank you for bringing this up. What did you make of Braun Breakker last night standing across the ring from Roman Reigns? I can go first if you want, but I kind of want, I don't want to lead your response at all. So you take it. You go first.
Yeah. First of all, Breaker's voice does not match his body, and that is always kind of funny to me when he talks.
It's like Brock in that regard.
Yeah. It's
like Brock's the same way. I'm like,
yeah. Like Braun might just always need like a mouthpiece, not to do all his promos, but like it is kind of like he is goofy sounding. So that's my first point. Second point is like, I think he passed being across from Roman, but it was like a C- sort of pass. So, it's a tough spot to be in, but to basically just speak on platitudes, he remembered his lines, and that's what it felt like. So it was fine. The crowd was into him, but yeah, it was just like good enough to be like, yeah, you certainly could be a top guy. But I do like worry the narrative around any character that's like, oh, this guy's going to main event 17 WrestleManias. As like a meta narrative and as like a Paul Heyman narrative for him in the group. I just think that's always a kiss of death for like what someone's true potential can be when you poison the well like that.
Yeah. They went heavy on Braun Breakker, like, again last night. I mean, just the fact that he got the moment to like run down Reigns a little bit on the microphone, I think, is telling. But I thought the same thing as you. Like he passed from the perspective of like he did it, and that's good, better than not doing it. But I thought that just like I thought he shrunk a little bit in terms of like aura, like big time star power aura. It's one thing when you're in there with Penta and when you're in there with Bronson Reed and when you're in there with like that level of star to kind of, look bigger or, have more aura than maybe you actually do. And man, like that was what the glaring part of it was for me. That's just like even when Roman Reigns was coming up, whether you liked him or not, you couldn't really deny like, hey, this guy's got something. Like he kind of owns his stuff that he does. And with Braun Breaker opposite Roman, I was like, man, Roman just like totally like overshadows him in terms of just charisma and presence. And like, I think Braun Breaker has to find that. And I think if he were to watch this back, he would have to admit the same thing. I think just the presence of both guys is just not even comparable.
Yeah, and it's like a confidence thing of like Roman knows like he's OTC 1, and that like exudes through him of like an actor who's playing a character. And he's just like they totally fall into that character. And Breaker, again, it's very like not minuscule. There's a big difference between them, but he's like 90% of the way there on like he's this character, but he does seem like also a human being who's kind of wanting to make sure he does a good job. And with Roman, it's like effortless, and that's like the difference between the two at this point.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Yeah, I think if you're Braun, you're like, okay, like I know where I need to get to. I know where I need to go, like to level up. And as Andrew H says here in the chat, he says, putting him in the ring with Roman is an automatic level up for anyone. True. He is the star in the professional wrestling business. Some will wilt under the star power. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, like you can't judge it off of one night. And again, he got the moment. He delivered the lines. He sounds a little weird, yes, but like it wasn't like devastation. But I do think, again, it just kind of it shows the hierarchy a little bit more on all right, who's really, really over and who's like, over enough. And I think that was the difference. I was glad to see finally Braun Breaker get booed though. I've been harping on that for a long time, and he still does the barking thing, but it was better for him to actually play a heel off of Roman.
I am like always dubious about a spear versus spear matchup. I'm sure you could do like a top 10 spear versus spear matches, and none of them were very good.
No.
So we'll see.
Yeah, God, a spear versus. I mean, no one. I mean, really, just although Roman has it, so yeah, you're stuck, Braun.
Yeah.
I think the Undertaker said on his podcast that nobody else should do the spear except for Braun Breaker, and I'm like, I don't think Roman's giving that up. I don't think he's giving that move.
Okay, Goldberg's out of the picture. Who else? Is that it? Edge is in AEW. Is there anyone else that does the spear besides those two?
Jay does it even.
Yeah, well, is that a spear?
Isn't it?
It's like a pocket knife or something.
Isn't it like a head first spear? Sure.
We'll call it a Samoan spear.
Okay, there you go.
Further off the spike, and then what can we give Jimmy? The Samoan sobriety test.
Samoan, yeah. I don't know. Breaker does it pretty good, but if I were to not see a spear in a pro wrestling match for 5 years, I think I'd be just totally fine. I'd be A-okay.
Mm-hmm.
Be A-okay. All right, you guys, before my voice craps out, we are going to put a bow on it right there. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for your patience over the weekend as we kind of navigated the COVID world again. But thank you for joining us here today. Big thanks to our gold members, Adam Kidd and Sean Palikta. Thanks to everybody else who joined us today, including Andrew H. and Joshua and Mike and Tracy and many others. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Once again, Brass Ring Media on Patreon to become a member, patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. We got all sorts of content dropping all throughout the week. Pay-per-view and PLE review shows, member-only podcasts, access to Discord, and so much more. So head over there. It's only $4. We'd love to earn your business and think we do a good job and cover the industry the right way. And we certainly would thank you in advance for joining. Like Mike says here, join. Tyler, final words.
I don't really have any. Got a kind of we'll see. I'm dubious about the SummerSlam, obviously, if you can't tell by my thing. Like, I'm not, a Cena, Cody face-to-face. I don't think going to save us, but we'll see.
Hey, but they're having a street fight now, so all is better.
Yeah, well, thank goodness. It's not this bell to bell.
Yeah. There you have it. There's the infamous final words of Tyler Sage. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll catch you here Thursday with another episode of the Brass Ring Media Podcast. Tomorrow evening, Robert is back with Nocturnal Knockout. Don't miss that show either. One of the best things going out there right now. Cool. Appreciate you guys. Talk soon. See ya.